Our next video is going to be focusing on function notation. Lots of students have trouble with function notation as well, so hopefully, after a couple of examples, we can see that function notation is really, if you kind of picture that function machine, this is your input, this is what you do to your input, and then whatever you get once you simplify is your output or your range. So we're going to start by evaluating f of 2. So notice with the function notation, we replaced x with 2. So I'm going to go over to the other side of the equal sign and do the same thing. I'm going to replace x with 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 6 is 12. So 2 is my domain, 12 is my range for that particular set of numbers. Next example, f of w. Again, notice that the x was replaced with w in the function notation. So over on the other side of the equal sign, I'm going to replace x with w. So when my domain is w, my range is 3w plus 6. Last example, f of x plus 2. Again, notice the x was replaced with x plus 2. So over on the other side of the equal sign, I'm going to replace my x with x plus 2. Simplifying, by distributing, I get 3x plus 6, which gives me 3x plus 12. So when my domain is x plus 2, my range is 3x plus 12. Hopefully you can see the visual function notation working here, and it'll make a little more sense to you than maybe it did last year. If not, one more example. So again, we're going to be evaluating this function. There's our domain. This is our range, or what we are doing to it, what we're performing, what operation we're performing. Substituting 2 for x, everywhere there's an x, we get the absolute value of 2 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. So when my input or my domain is 2, my output or my range is 1. When my input is negative 2, everywhere there's an x, I'm going to replace it with a negative 2. Absolute value of negative 2 is 2, divided by negative 2 is negative 1. So for an input of negative 2, a domain value of negative 2, I have a range value or an output of negative 1. And finally, f of x plus 1. Everywhere I see an x, I'm going to replace it with x plus 1. This doesn't simplify, so for my domain of x plus 1, I have a range or an output of absolute value quantity x plus 1 all over x plus 1.